Imagine meticulously recording this really complex, beautiful piece of music on just a cheap smartphone.
Right, like the kind of phone with a cracked screen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you've stacked a pile of old books on a narrow bed in this tiny room with iron sheet walls, what they call mabadi, just to get the camera angle right.
Just working with whatever you have.
Yeah. And you play the playful, intricate theme from that classic film, The Third Man, on your guitar.
Which is not an easy piece to play, by the way.
No, not at all. You edit the footage on some free app, hit upload to your YouTube channel, and, well, you wait.
Agonizing wait.
Right. And the next morning you wake up, grab your phone, and you check the stats. 1 view, 1 like.
Yeah.
And you smile. Welcome to today's deep dive. Today we have our hands on a beautifully detailed narrative script centered on a young Kenyan woman named Judy.
It's such an incredible source text.
It really is. And our mission today is to explore the anatomy of persistence, the hidden geometry of a city like Nairobi, and what it truly means to create art when no one seems to be watching.
I mean, the visual of that opening scene you just described is really what grounds this entire narrative.
Oh, for sure.
Like, the camera focuses entirely on Judy's hand as she plays that guitar, and she's missing her pinky and half of her ring finger.
Wow.
Yeah, there's this shortened stump, and sitting loosely around what remains of that ring finger is an old, worn silver ring.
Which is such a striking detail.
Exactly. We're instantly introduced to a story of profound physical loss, but also, meticulous, practiced adaptation. She is playing delicately and skillfully, just entirely ignoring her perceived limitation.
Okay, let's unpack this, because I have to admit, I don't quite get her reaction to that single YouTube view.
The smiling.
Yeah, the smile. I mean, why smile? If I spent all evening recording a video and woke up to literally 1 view, I wouldn't just be frustrated, I'd probably delete the app.
Right, it feels completely counterintuitive.
It feels almost delusional, honestly, to smile at that kind of digital rejection. Yeah, her channel, JD, it's just getting nothing.
It looks that way on the surface, sure, but you have to look at what that channel represents for her and the emotional baseline she operates from.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Well, she isn't delusional. She has this quiet, grounded acceptance of her reality. She isn't angry at the algorithm. As we explore this deep dive, you'll see how Judy is constantly balancing the grueling, unforgiving reality of her survival with this pure, almost stubborn pursuit of beauty.
Oh.
For her, that single view isn't a failure to go viral. It's proof that her art exists outside her own head.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's enough to keep her going for one more day.
That is, wow, that's heavy. And we immediately see why she needs that escape, right? Because her daily reality is intensely demanding.
Absolutely grueling.
The script doesn't just show us her life. It brilliantly maps out the architecture of the two very different worlds she inhabits.
Yes, the contrast is huge.
It starts with the mechanics of poverty. She splashes her face with cold water from a plastic basin. She boils black tea. And there's no milk, just water, tea leaves, and a bit of sugar on a small kerosene stove.
And the sounds of the neighborhood, too, right?
Exactly. She steps outside her iron sheet door into this vibrant, noisy, communal ghetto. Kids are running through the dusty walkways, kicking a homemade ball wrapped in paper and tape.
We are looking at a world where everything is repurposed and fought for. Everything.
Yeah.
But then she boards a matatu, a crowded minibus to commute to work, and the landscape just shifts entirely.
It's like night and day.
The roadside stalls and dust fade into paved sidewalks and perfectly trimmed hedges.
Right, because she arrives at a wealthy, quiet, gated community. She works as a maid for a woman named Emma.
And Emma is, well, she's the exact opposite of Judy's morning.
Completely. Emma is this busy, elegant professional rushing out the door in a navy blue suit to her Toyota Fielder.
Barely even noticing her.
Yeah, she just hands Judy some folded notes for groceries before speeding off. And I want to pause on the commute between these two worlds, because there is a moment on that matatu ride that feels like massive foreshadowing.
Oh, the peeling poster on the concrete pillar. We have to talk about that.
We have to. It's huge.
While Judy is looking out the vibrating window of the bus at a junction, there's this faded advertisement that reads, Wing A1 Dash, Searching for the Soul.
Right?
And it features a silhouette of a band, but parts of the paper are torn away.
And the crazy part is, Judy completely ignores it.
She doesn't even see it.
She doesn't register the words at all.
Hmm.
She's just absent-mindedly rubbing her shortened fingers.
Mm.
I mean, the universe is literally putting a billboard in front of her face, and she's completely blind to it.
Because she's hyper-focused on her own physical flaw.
Exactly.
It's such a human thing to do, right?
Yeah.
People often edit out the opportunities around them when they are consumed by their perceived limitations.
Oh, yeah.
So keep that poster in mind because it is the structural linchpin of this entire narrative.
For sure.
But let's look at what happens when she actually enters Emma's house. It's spacious, high ceilings, cream walls, and Judy is methodically cleaning every surface.
Which brings up a really troubling dynamic for me. Is Judy essentially living as a ghost in Emma's house?
That's a really good way to put it.
I think of the stagehand analogy. She's like a stagehand in a theater. She is allowed to sweep the stage, polish the spotlight, and make sure the props are perfect.
Right, keeping the illusion alive.
But the second the curtain goes up and the actual performance begins, she is required by the rules of that world to be entirely invisible.
That analogy hits the nail on the head, and the script illustrates this perfectly with the piano scene.
Oh, that scene broke my heart.
It's so powerful. Judy wipes the large glass dining table until her distorted reflection, the strange shapes of her missing fingers, becomes perfectly clear.
Yeah.
Then she walks over to Emma's immaculate, gleaming black piano. She lifts the lid just slightly, presses a single white key in secret, and then quickly closes it.
Like she's done something terrible.
Exactly, looking almost guilty before she goes back to dusting the TV stand.
It's heartbreaking. She maintains the beauty of that world, but she's forbidden from actually participating in it.
The mechanics of gate-kept art are definitely at play here. The piano represents an entirely inaccessible world of privilege.
Right.
Society, and Emma specifically, trusts Judy to clean the expensive instruments of the wealthy. They trust her to wash pristine white school shirts and dust expensive flat screens.
But never to use them.
Never. The socioeconomic divide dictates that she is never expected or even invited to play those instruments.
She's just the help.
The working class in this environment is meant to be seen only in the results of their labor, never in their own expression. So pressing that single key is a tiny, terrifying rebellion against her own invisibility.
And her invisibility extends far beyond Emma's living room. Because, cleaning houses just isn't enough to support her family back in her rural village.
She has to hustle.
She has to bridge the gap between survival and her passion. So she takes her guitar to the unforgiving streets of Nairobi. She busks.
In all that chaos.
Yeah, she stands on the noisy sidewalk in this blue floral dress, her guitar bag open on the ground for coins, and she makes pennies.
Almost nothing.
She gets home, dumps the coins on her bed, and counts out 300 shillings. And then she finds a hidden 50-shilling note tucked in the corner of her bag and smiles. 350 shillings.
Let's translate the economics of that for a moment because it's wild. Imagine standing in the heat and the exhaust fumes of a major city for hours, playing intricate music.
While constantly looking over your shoulder.
Right, to grab your guitar and scatter into the crowd the second you see city council officers coming to arrest you.
It's so stressful.
And at the end of all that physical and emotional labor, you walk away with the equivalent of what buys, like a loaf of bread and a bus ticket.
It's a crushing financial reality.
Right.
We actually see her check her M-Pesa mobile money balance.
Seriously.
She has just 1,225 Kenyan shillings to her name.
Which is nothing.
And she immediately sends money to her mother to pay for electricity and to buy medication for her sick father. She is literally running on fumes.
And the rent is due.
Yes. Even her caretaker knocks on her door holding a folder for her 450 shilling rent arrears. But in this rare, quiet moment of mercy, he looks at her open guitar bag, sighs, and tells her to keep the money until the 20th.
The margins she is living on are razor thin. I mean, a single bad day means she doesn't eat or her father doesn't get his medicine.
Here's where it gets really interesting, and I want to push back on a trope we see all the time.
Okay, what is it?
It is so easy for us as an audience to romanticize the struggling street artist playing for the love of the craft.
Oh, absolutely. The starving artist trope.
Right. But this script refuses to let us do that. Judy is surrounded by hundreds of thousands of people in this bustling city, yet her digital footprint perfectly mirrors her physical invisibility.
Yes.
At one point, she's staring at her YouTube channel. She's hovering her finger over the delete channel button. Her oldest video is stuck at 4 views and 2 likes.
It's brutal.
So why keep playing if the city drowns you out with shop speakers and the internet completely ignores you? What is the point of the art?
What's fascinating here is understanding how visibility actually works in the digital age versus what Judy is trying to achieve.
Okay, lay it out for us.
Well, think about her algorithms function. They don't surface the most beautiful or skillful art. They require early engagement networks to push content.
You need an audience to get an audience.
Exactly. The algorithm essentially mirrors the socioeconomic gatekeeping of Emma's house. It demands a level of polished perfection and insider traction that Judy simply doesn't have.
So she's playing a rigged game.
She is, but her playing isn't just a plea for algorithmic fame or street money. It is a fundamental act of defiance.
Yeah.
There's a vital moment where she sits on the curb, looks at her two shortened fingers, and the script notes her internal thought, not perfect, but enough.
Oh man, not perfect, but enough.
Yeah.
That is a powerful mantra.
In a city that treats her as a ghost, making her own music is the one space where she exists entirely on her own terms.
I love that.
Her meticulous tracking of those single-digit YouTube views, uploading 3 videos a night just to see a single view, that's her building a creative sanctuary.
Even if she's alone in it.
Right. Even if you are the only person inside that sanctuary, the act of building it is what keeps your identity intact.
It's her proof of life.
Precisely.
But right at the moment the city's economic reality is trying to completely crush her, the universe offers her a totally different kind of currency.
Fireflies.
Let's look at the magical realism sequence because it sets up a devastating contrast. Throughout the story, there is a recurring motif of a drunk man.
Right. The guy who crashes into her house.
Yeah, every single night around 10:0 p.m. thud. He crashes into the outer tin wall of her house, slurs an apology, and stumbles away. But on one heavy, rainy night, the thud happens, and there are no footsteps walking away.
She goes to check, probably expecting to find him passed out in the mud.
Exactly. She opens her door, steps out onto her little porch in the rain, and there's no man. Instead, the dark yard slowly fills with fireflies, tiny sparks pulsing in the rain.
It's such a beautiful visual.
And one firefly floats right up to her, lands exactly on the stump of her missing fingers. It glows against her skin. She laughs. She spins in the rain, arms out, completely free.
A brief moment of pure magic.
The firefly landing on her stump is like nature giving her a standing ovation right where she feels most broken.
A gorgeous image of uncommodified validation.
But the magic doesn't last for even 12 hours. The very next morning, she takes the muddy path to the bus, rides to the gated community, walks up to Emma's house, and the gate guard tells her Emma isn't there.
Emma traveled.
Emma traveled. Emma didn't tell her. Judy is locked out. Her frantic phone calls go completely unanswered.
So callous.
She ends up sitting defeated under a tree at Huru Park, just staring at her phone. So help me understand this. Why does the silence of Emma ghosting her hurt more than the noise of the city streets ignoring her guitar?
Because we have to examine the mechanics of disposable labor in a gig economy. Think about the contrast you just laid out.
Okay.
The firefly represents the universe acknowledging her existence without demanding anything in return. It's pure. Emma's ghosting is the exact opposite.
Right.
It is the sudden, careless erasure of Judy's utility.
I mean, Emma didn't fire her. She just forgot she existed.
Which is infinitely worse. Wealthy ecosystems rely entirely on the working class to maintain their lives, but they often cognitively edit them out of existence to avoid guilt or responsibility.
Wow, yes.
When Emma casually forgets to tell Judy she is traveling, it proves that to the wealthy world, Judy is completely disposable.
And there go her wages.
And remember, the razor-thin margins. When Judy loses that daily income, she can't buy her father's medicine. The pressure becomes unbearable.
A breaking point.
That delete channel button stops being a passing thought. It becomes a symbol of total crushing surrender.
And we see that surrender happen in real time. She literally packs it in. The dream is over.
It's so hard to read.
She takes her remaining food, maize flour, 2 tomatoes, and 1 onion, and hands them to her neighbor.
Giving away everything.
Yeah, she packs 2 sets of clothes and her phone charger to go back to her rural home, Seno. She is giving up.
She has reached the absolute breaking point of human endurance. The art could survive the poverty, but it couldn't survive the erasure of her basic human dignity.
Which brings us to the climax of the narrative. We are at the intersection of chance, art, and the hidden geometry of the city.
This part is brilliant.
Judy is entirely defeated. She is literally at the Nairobi bus station, standing in the pouring rain, ready to board a bus and leave her dreams behind forever. And the story ties everything back to the seeds planted during that very first Matatu commute.
The narrative payoff here is masterful because it hinges on a mechanical failure, not a magical intervention.
Right. She's waiting in the ticket line. The rain is heavy. Suddenly a man in a rush bumps into her hard. He hits her worn green bag, and the weak handle finally snaps. The bag drops into the mud.
Just one more thing going wrong.
Right, but he catches it just in time, starts apologizing profusely, and as he hands it back, he freezes. He looks down at her hand.
He notices the missing fingers.
He notices the shortened fingers, and you can see the gears turning in his head. He pulls out his phone, frantically searches for something, and tunes the screen to her.
It's her YouTube channel.
Yes, Judy. The very first video she uploaded, the one with 2 views and 2 likes.
The digital footprint she was quite literally about to delete.
And he says, I run a band. We just lost our guitarist. I've seen your videos. You're really good. And the band name at the top of his phone, Wing E01.
Oh, man.
The torn poster from the concrete pillar on her very first commute. He's the manager of the band. They have 250,000 subscribers. He asks if she's available that afternoon.
Incredible.
So what does this all mean? It's this incredible irony, right? The YouTube algorithm completely failed her. Hard work and talent alone weren't breaking down the door. But human clumsiness, a snapped bag handle in the pouring rain, saved her.
We have to look very closely at Judy's reaction in this moment, though, because it subverts all our expectations of a clean, triumphant resolution.
She doesn't jump up and down.
She doesn't jump for joy.
Yeah.
She doesn't cheer or smile. She stands in the rain and she breaks down into deep, uncontrollable sobs. The manager is confused. He thinks he said something wrong, but she just keeps crying.
It's such a visceral, almost painful reaction to watch.
Because it isn't just happiness. It is the catastrophic release of pressure. It's the weight of the grinding poverty, the profound stress of Emma ghosting her, the fear of the rent arrears.
All of it at once.
And the sheer bone-deep exhaustion of holding on to hope for so long when no one was looking. But the deepest insight here is the irony of her identifier.
What do you mean by identifier?
Well, think about the digital world versus the physical world. The YouTube algorithm demands perfection to be seen. It wants polished thumbnails, flawless audio, and high engagement rates. Her missing fingers were a statistical disadvantage on a platform that values visual perfection. But humanity requires a flaw to be remembered.
Oh.
That manager didn't recognize her face from a video with 2 views. He recognized the jagged line of her missing fingers. She was finally seen, not in spite of her physical flaw, but entirely because of it.
Not perfect, but enough. The very thing she was hiding when she ignored the poster was the exact key to unlocking the door.
It completely reframes how we think about the parts of ourselves we try to hide or fix. Her perceived limitation was the only reason a human being could pick her out of a crowded, rainy bus station.
And that is exactly what we want you to take away from this deep dive today. This story strips away the illusion that persistence is some glamorous movie montage set to an upbeat soundtrack.
Not at all.
Real persistence is waking up in the cold. It's making black tea on a kerosene stove. It's playing your heart out to empty, noisy streets and holding onto your art just long enough to survive until preparation finally collides with luck.
It's the grueling work of building your own sanctuary and trusting that the architecture of that sanctuary matters, even when you are the only one standing inside it.
So, we want to leave you with a final thought to mull over today. Think about your own life. Think about your own one view, one like project, whatever that passion or pursuit is for you right now.
Yeah, what's your sanctuary?
If your lowest moment or your biggest perceived flaw was the exact thing that made you recognizable to your greatest opportunity, how would you view your daily struggles differently?
That's a great question.
What if that broken, jagged line in your life is the only reason the magic can actually find you? Keep playing your notes, even in the noise. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.